Okay, let's start with the big news of the week. Alexis Sanchez, Man United's probably biggest ever flop, and probably one of the biggest ever flops in the Premier League, in terms of when he moved to Man United on a swap deal to Arsenal with Mkhitaryan, I believe, and I think it was 30 million, and he's hardly played any games. He's had terrible goal returns. He's went on a loan deal to Inter Milan for 1 year. The issues for Man United, of course, because they were paying them such high wages, the loan deal is reported to be, in terms of Man United still paying 250,000 of his 400,000 week wage, and there is an option to buy at the end of it. But let's face it, now hopefully, if he plays well in the Italian league, which I must admit is a little bit slower than the Premier League, because the Premier League, in my opinion, is the best league in the world. Hopefully he will actually perform well, and Inter Milan will be tempted to buy him. But will they be willing to take on the whole wage structure, the whole wage? I don't know about that, as you say. But either way, it's brave on Man United. I want to give praise to Man United for once, because as I say, I'm a Newcastle fan. I'm not too bothered about Man United really, but they are a big club. They should be doing better than they are. It might force Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the manager, to actually play some of the young guns, because he keeps saying, I've noticed that from kind of watching it from the outside, every now and then he says he's going to play the young guns at Man United, and he never does though. He's always playing the young, he's always playing Ashley Young, and he's always playing and it's just, but hopefully they've done a good summer in my opinion, and getting Harry Maguire in, getting Wan-Bissaka in, young people, very nice. Harry Maguire's mid-tier, but he's Premier League proven. Wan-Bissaka, great potential. He's might be one of the best right backs in the league. He's not the best right back in the league. I believe it's one of it's Liverpool. It's Trent, I believe, or is it Arnold? I can't remember which one's on the right side. They are the best at the moment, of course, but Wan-Bissaka has the potential to even surpass him, I do believe. Now, other news in Man United would be that Zlatan Ibrahimovic has made a sort of jokey comment. Of course, he's in the MLS right now. That's saying that he does feel as though he could go back to the Premier League and if Man United need him, he would happily go back and play for them. Now, the only reason I'm bringing that up is because with Alexis Sanchez gone, you have to remember that the Premier League transfer window is shut. So that means they've let Alexis Sanchez go. Yep, he was a drain on wages. He was probably a drain on the team because he was getting paid the most. He wasn't even playing. And he wasn't that good when he played either, because he took up positions of people. And it might, as I say, it's good for your team. I do believe it's a positive move, because it gets Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, it gets Greenwood, it gets the new signing Daniel James, and it might even give a bit of motivation to those players to start performing. And I believe there's a player called Chow as well, who's quite young, who's meant to have potential, but then it's a risk, isn't it? It's a risk. Can Man United really get the class of 99 again just by chucking the young guns out, or do they need the old dogs? Because as I say, when you look at Man United back then, the reason that performed so well in terms of getting the Beckhams, the Scholes, who was else in that 99 squad, Giggs, to perform when they did, is because they had like Keane, they had beast centre backs, they had a good, as I say, David De Gea is the best goalkeeper in the league anyway at the moment. I would even argue that maybe All Black right now is beating him in terms of overall in the world. But hey, Man United news, I think you should be happy about it, but it is a risk. Let me know how you guys think in the comments. Let's get on to the next news. Okay guys, it's time to talk about a bit of a sad news when it comes to overall for a football club. We're going to talk about Bury. They've been expelled from League One. Of course, this is down to financial difficulties and financial misplay. Now, it's a bit of a shame, because Burnley, as I say, it's a long-lasting club. It was funded in 1885, so that's when it started. So this is a well over a century-old club that's now been kicked out of a league, which does mean for League One, English League, it means that there's going to be 23 teams now instead of 24, and it does mean that there's only going to be 3 teams relegated instead of 4, which would be the usual league. Now, as I say, sympathies do go out to the fans for the football club. As I say, it does hurt when you look at, if you are a massive fan of a football club and then it gets mismanaged so badly, it then gets written out of existence. And I do hope they do come back. Now, my feelings also go out for other clubs that are in equal financial difficulty at the moment, but not as long as Burnley is. It's going to be as hard for the likes of Bolton, and as I say, I wish them all the best. And I say, let's get on to the next news. Also in the news is Neymar, one of the best players in the world, I would even argue, even with as he moved into PSG a few years ago. Barcelona is old, and previous club have reportedly made 153 million pound bid for the forward to then return back to the Camp Nou. Now, it is likely, based on how his relationship is going with the PSG crowd, as well as the club, as well as the hierarchy there. And of course, they themselves may feel that they could get rid of him because they have such a superstar as Kylian Mbappe in their ranks, who is basically carrying their team in League One. They kind of hope for the Champions League, and it would free up some wages to maybe get some other superstar. But of course, is this a good for Barcelona, or is it good for PSG? Is it good for Neymar? Now, he himself, Neymar, has had several injury worries, particularly last season. I believe it's his ankle that was the issue. Now, he's still a world-class player when he plays. He's still one of the top goal scorers in League One. And when if he does go to Barcelona, which is likely, at one point, a lot of sources are saying that it is highly likely that a deal is getting finalised. But then when you look at Barcelona, they've strengthened so much this transfer window. They've got Griezmann, De Jong. Who is he? And they've got rid of Coutinho on a loan deal to Bayern Munich. Like, why are you getting another Brazilian forward? Haven't you got enough in your ranks? Are they just really trying to compete with Real Madrid's spending this season? And maybe, as you say, the shirt sales getting him across. And the fact is, Barcelona sold him for around 250 million. It was the biggest transfer of all time a couple of years ago. And now they're maybe getting him back with 100 million off the asking price. So it makes sense businessly in terms of that. Neymar, I do wish him the best. I do like him as a footballer. Personality wise, I don't really like the fact that he dives a lot. And this is me giving my personal opinion. I know everybody says diving's part of the game, but he is a massive offender of that. He is very skillful. He's one of the best players of this generation. He doesn't touch Ronaldo, Messi for me, or even Kylian Mbappe at this point. But the issue I've got with this deal is maybe financial fair play. Barcelona has spent so much already, but let's face it, Man City are taking the piss with that. Financial fair play in this point of view, and this is a bit of a hot take, seems to be crushing the lower end teams, the mid team to lower end teams. The high teams are still spending the billions. The Juventuses, the PSG, Man City, Man United in a certain way, and as well as Real Madrid and Barcelona have really flunked it this season. They're either going to have really quiet summers and transfer windows in the coming weeks. As well as a little Real Madrid news, apparently Hazard's going to be making his Liga Santander start soon because he apparently has had a hip injury for a while. Is he going to be able to replace Ronaldo's output, which of course they're trying to do, becoming the next superstar? But hey, fingers crossed for them. I do wish them all the best. And Neymar, I don't know if it's a good deal. There's benefits and drawbacks to both. It is a bit weird, and it's not like PSG could get rid of him, but Barcelona, do they need him? As well as they're making money on him in terms of they've sold him for more than when they're going to be buying him back for, but he's going to be considerably older, as well as more injury prone. But then again, the fans are going to love it. And there was rumours that he was going to go to Real Madrid. It's a tough one. I hope it all the best, but the main thing is let's get into another news story. Let's do it. Okay guys, for the final segment of this week's new show, a new idea I'm trying to keep on with. I'll try my best to, whenever there's football news, I'll do a weekly show, guys. But you guys want to know about me, I'm a Newcastle fan, so I'm going to make a little Newcastle update section. Now, we've recently just had an excellent Premier League result. We just beat Spurs 1-0, which is fantastic. Joe Linton, our new striker, is kind of showing his class a little bit getting that goal, but I've got to be honest, we didn't deserve to win that game. When you look at all the stats, Tottenham were very unlucky to even get 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals, and I do feel I made a decision. If you check out my Premier League predictions video, guys, you'll know that I made a prediction that Newcastle were just avoiding the drop when it comes to the Premier League. And perfectly honest, the way they've started, I know they've got this result against Spurs. That is a very optimistic opinion, I do believe. But I hope they stay up. I really do. But worst comes to worst, they go back down to the Championship. Hopefully we can get some change with the ownership and the management and the way the club is run. Fingers crossed. But then there's money in the Championship as well, guys, so we never know. I hope, fingers crossed now. I'm excited for the weekend. Exciting game. We got through Spurs with a win. We got crushed by Arsenal, which is fair enough because they are excellent. And I do wish, as the team, Newcastle update, I'm very positive with that week's result. Getting points on the board is so important. Hopefully we can get to that 40 to 45 point mark, which I do believe will be around the you're safe if you get to that point. But then hopefully, I really hope we make some signings in terms of even next summer, that give us hope to maybe become mid-table and then upper table, you know what I mean? Because as I say, I really enjoy Newcastle, I really hang. But main thing is, tell me what you think of the news show. Tell me about all 3 of the stories you think, as well as Newcastle. If you guys are fans of Newcastle, who's your team? Who's your team that you support? That's what I want to know, and how are they doing at their current state? But thanks a lot, guys, for all the support you guys are showing the channel recently. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe, spread it about, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.